Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another episode of the Justine Podcast. Uh, Today's going to be an impromptu on art. Reason why is because, I was doing a little meditation this morning. It kind of it floated to me that art imitates reality. And that's something that, we always conditionally say. A lot of people say art imitates reality, which creates the implication that art follows the reality that is already set in motion. But what also led to that, thought process was listening to the music that we have. And I was just like, when I listen to the R&B music now, it's more so always about fucking. Of course, quote unquote, they say making love because, it's R&B motherfuckers and shit. But a lot of the music is just about fucking. Fucking and taking a man's girl. Like, that's the male version of R&B nowadays. I'm not a woman, so I'm not going to discuss the woman's version because it doesn't really affect me the same way that the male version of R&B affects me. So I got to looking, I'm not necessarily an old head, but I'm an oldies head. So I I listened to like the Earth, Wind and Fires, the Commodores, the Temptations, the older groups and shit. And I listened to how, there was a lot more reverence for women. There was a lot more respect, in a sense, despite the actions outside of the shit they did. When they laid that shit on wax, it was more so, uplifting, like, yo, I really want this woman. And then I seen it start to shift and change towards, R&B singers are just singing like rappers. You feel me? They're singing like disrespectful, misogynistic men and shit, But it's all lust driven. So it's like they say art imitates reality, but then I'm like, how can that be a reality at the same time? So, it kind of put me in a thought process where I'm like, well, art can't only imitate reality, it also has to initiate it in a strange conundrum. It's a strange paradox because it's like a cycle. At some point you just see a cycle moving, but you never really know where it starts. And I'm learning that art is the reality that initiates and imitates reality based off of the cycle that it creates. So the things that we see, when we see changes, like I started to pay attention to it more, like when I'm looking at like hip hop, also because it's like, I see how I looked at when I was in like high school and shit. Lil Wayne was one of my favorite rappers and shit. But I look at how the game of rappers now are carbon copies of Lil Wayne. I'm like, all they do is sip lean and talk about the same shit he talked about all the time. It was, I'm not going to say it was different, but it was different when it was him because it was just him. He was literally the only one on this type time. But then it changed. So it got me to thinking, like, it really started to open my eyes to see art not only imitates reality, it initiates it. And if we realize that art also initiates reality, we can be more influential and more intentional with what we choose to initiate as our art forms. And by doing so, maybe, just maybe, it is the art that can change our circumstances in many ways. But before I dive heavy into it, I'm be sure to follow me on Instagram at _scene_. Visit my website at imjustscene.com to get my books, to enroll in my courses, to get my merchandise, and to book sessions with me for any kind of conversation that you wish to have. I appreciate everyone who tips, donates, and sponsors the podcast. If you would like to tip, donate, and sponsor the podcast, you can do so. Cash App and PayPal are fine. And the sponsor link is in the description of your podcast episode. That's pretty much it for now. So I'm going to take a quick break. And when I dive back into it, we're going to begin impromptu pop-ups, art. Oh yeah, and don't forget to visit imjustsing.com. There you can get all things Just Sing. You want to add the So Frail series to your library? Visit imjustsing.com. You want to learn how to master the market for serious trading and investing? Visit imjustsing.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit imjustsing.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit imjustsing.com. You ever want to just chat with Sing about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit imjustsing.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at imjustsing.com. So just take a quick peek into my world and see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it. You will never see it unless you visit imjustsing.com. All right, welcome back. Welcome back to Impromptu Pop-Ups, Arts, or The Arts. I'll have the title down pat by the time it's released and everything. But yeah, it's like art not only imitates, but it initiates reality. And I think it's become a lot more evident with me in 2020 because just how everything has been going, I'm listening to what people are saying about certain art, certain pieces of art that are coming out, Of course, one specifically is a WAP. Everything that kept being told was that, they're raising our little girls to be hoes. They're raising whole culture. They're doing this. It's always been, this music is raising, it's going to affect our daughters. Right? My thing has always been, you're the fucking parent, dog. Like, how the fuck can a musician or artist have more influence over your child than you? And then it hit like, that's the point. They're supposed to have more influence over you. Like, that's what the art is about. Art is about influencing the culture, and art imitates reality. So art imitates the culture, and it also initiates the culture. And just looking at little certain tidbits that are actively going on right now, I kind of put that in mind. Like, if you look at the Migos, their albums, they got culture, the culture 1, the culture 2, for the culture, like, but what is their music talking about? You feel what I'm saying? And then when I look at the kids that listen to the shit, I look at how they're transforming into low-key Migos. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, is it really just art imitating reality? Because it's always been a point of, well, I'm only listening to the music for the beat, or, you know what I mean? Or it's always, they're just telling our stories for us. And I'm looking at it like, some of us don't have these motherfucking stories. A lot of us don't have these ballerific stories. So what story are they telling for us? So that's why it's like, you have the artistry that imitates the reality. Then you have the artistry that initiates it. All of it is influential. You feel me? But there's two sides to the art. There's two sides to the art form. I look back at one point in time when our music was like, they didn't want us initiating our own arts. You feel me? We were off the airwaves. We couldn't do certain shit and blah, blah, blah. But as time went on, they let us in. Then hip hop came into the motherfucker. KRS once said something very powerful one time. He said, if hip hop can destroy the community, it can also create the community or build it up. And at the time, it went over my head. I was like, yeah, you're right, it can. But I didn't know the depths of what it was actually setting for me, because I was looking at how easy it is to maneuver and just get a record deal talking bullshit. And I was like, why is it so easy for that? Like, you feel me? When I was in undergrad, I was working on a deal to be signed to a label and shit. And at the time, of course, I'm 18 years old. All I had rapped about was shooting motherfuckers and fucking bitches. That's literally all I rapped about at the time. You feel what I'm saying? I had some solid subject matter from time to time, but as far as the shit that they were looking at me for, it was shoot this nigga, shoot that nigga, fuck this bitch, fuck that bitch, get this money. That's all I talked about. But I was so fucking witty with it. I was so fucking poised with the shit that I was saying that I understand now what they were doing. But it was like it changed my perspective at the time, because I was like, I could do this by myself. I don't need y'all. I always had that mentality, like, y'all coming for me. Y'all want to sign me, bitch. I'm the talent. I'm great. We got to do certain shit. So at the time, I was like, look, I got to finish school. I got to do this, that, and the third. I said, look, if you want to go ahead and get me right now, then these are the conditions we got to make, right? So I was like, yo, you got to pay off all schooling for me. That was my stipulation. I said, you got to pay off undergrad. You got to, when I go to med school, you got to pay that off. Any level I decide to go with in school, you have to pay for it. Like, I need that written down. You have to pay for it. I also had stipulations of, I'm only doing tours and performances when I'm not in school. So summertime is the only time you're going to get me. Like, I'm not doing shit. Like, no, not year round. I'm studying, I'm learning. I'm not doing that stupid shit. Right. So those are my stipulations. Of course, they didn't, they were trying to work, but they didn't, they weren't going to make it happen. They was like, we need you full dedication, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Fuck y'all. Look, my thing was, I got to finish school. You feel me? I got to finish school. But when I started to listen, like, they were really heavy on me. Like, I would listen to they would, tell me what songs they heard and what they really liked. And I was like, I got some other shit talking about real world shit. But, at the time, I'm a kid, so I'm not really saying that, but I'm thinking it. I'm like, y'all not talking about, the lyrics that I'm talking about, do better with life and shit like that. Y'all are talking about this bullshit. And then, I remember watching an interview with Tupac. He said, when we can't talk about what we want to talk about, we're going to talk about the bullshit, like partying and fucking and all that shit. And that's what it is. And I was like, what is the cause of that? So then it leads me back to art. Like, we're all, like, rappers and shit, they're all artists. Singers, they're artists. You feel me? So art is going to do one of two things. As I said, it's going to either imitate or initiate reality. We get so wrapped up on the cliche of art imitates reality that we don't really pay attention to how it initiates it. You feel me? Like I said, I'm realizing it more because I'm looking at a world of music where everybody talks about sipping lean and popping pills and just doing stupid shit to destroy their body. Right? I don't hear that outside of Black artistry. And it's like, is it because they know it initiates reality too? Like, it's almost like, we know a chicken has to come first, but it's almost like the chicken and the egg bullshit. Which really came first? The chicken had to come first because the egg had to be fertilized, and the chicken has to sit on the egg in order for it to stay warm to hatch. The fuck is the egg gonna hatch itself? Whatever. But anyway, that same understanding of that quandary led me to realize something has to start this shit. There's no confusion as to where the start is, and there shouldn't be a confusion. But it's in the art. It's in the art. Because then you have to get into the realm of supply and demand and shit. They create the demand and supply it. They take all of the other information out, all of the other types of artist forms and shit. They suppress them, or they don't let you get to them. And then you feel me? They only allow certain things to slip through the cracks, and but for the majority, the quote unquote mainstream, like, why is ours so fucked up? Because, like, I'm looking at our mainstream music for our women. And this is really what the topic was about. Like our women, it's like our mainstream is to disrespect them or to take them from another man. Those are the only options we had to be with women. It's like if you're not disrespecting them, you're taking them from another man, or you're fucking them. That's it. Like I said, R&B motherfuckers, quote unquote, make love to them. Rappers, fuck them. You feel what I'm saying? And both aspects will take our poise of taking the girl, taking the woman from her. Like, you feel me? I mean, you can listen to all the rap music. It's like, yo, I can fuck your bitch. I can take your bitch. I do this to your bitch. I had your bitch on her knees and shit. I had your bitch like doing everything. Like, I can go through lyrics for days. You feel me? From some of my favorite rappers to rappers I don't even fuck with like that. You feel me? Fucking like Pop. He starts off, hit him up with, "That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker." You feel me? We fed into that. You feel me? Soulja Boy got on, what is it? Pretty Boy Swag. He said, "Last night your girl's forehead was on my abs." Like, yo, she's topping me off. Like, you feel me? R&B wise, you have Joe singing, "I can do all the things your man won't do." Trey Songz, "I can't help but wait." The list goes on regarding how well we could take another man's woman. You feel me? But, and then it goes into the side of um, the dynamic of, okay, if you're not taking her, it's just you're fucking her. You feel me? You're fucking her in some way, shape, or form. You know, it's all love making music. All baby, we call it baby making music. You know, we kind of stripped him of the title, but for a long time he held the king of R&B, R. Kelly, and all of his music. We know what his music was really about, but all of his music was about sex. Sex, 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 sex. It wasn't, he has like two songs that have substance in them that we can really remember, and that's I Believe I Can Fly and The World's Greatest. You feel me? I remember Matt TV did a parody on the world's greatest statutory rapist. They told motherfuckers a long time ago, but whatever. But anyway, the point that I'm making is that that's how the art form is viewed. And this is really all art. And it's like, I'm looking at all forms of our art of what's allowed to be given back to us in abundance. Shows nothing but negative imagery. You know, sticking down the vein of just the music right now, we look at how the art form is being tainted to show that basically we ain't no good. And I use that because it's like, I'm not saying we're no good, but I'm saying the art shows certain things, because then I'm gonna get into, you know, art as a form of imagery, art as a form of symbolism, right? But for now, I'm gonna stick to the music still. You know, listening to the music day in and day out. You know, I was listening to the OJs, you know, a few days ago, and you know, "Darling, Darling Baby" came on and shit. And I was listening to the motherfucker, and I'm like, you know, vibing. And then I got my music like sporadically placed. So something, Earth, Wind, and Fire will pop up, you know, the OJs will come in, motherfucking, then I'll switch over to motherfucking Tupac, Bomb First and shit like that. But it's all in a loop. There's no, I'm listening to the same type of music, same style of music every day, so everything is different. But as I'm listening to it shuffle through, I'm like, damn, this is what our R&B music is. This is what the scope of our R&B music is. You know, it's all about, and I mean, I get it. R&B is rhythm and blues. Blues is sadness. Like, that's what it originated as anyway, sadness. But it's like, have we really paid attention to the blues part much? Because is this allowing us to stay in a state of the blues? You feel what I'm saying? And by the blues, it's like the shit that kind of does damage to us, you know? And it makes me wonder, it was making me wonder, like, what is the quintessential piece to all of this? You know, What is the quintessential piece of all this? And it took me back again to art imitates reality. So like I said, I'm listening to the OJs, listening to the Temptations and shit. Like, we got our music, like, Temptations have bangers for days, but they have one particular, two in particular I want to discuss for this is Just My Imagination and motherfucking, I just had it, Just My Imagination, and it ain't too proud to beg. Like, yo, it's like, yo, I'm envisioning this woman that I really, really like, that I damn near love in my head. And she doesn't know me. Like, with that reality for us, having those feelings are gone now. There's no art to express that. Because now everybody has the confidence to say, I can get any bitch I want. I can do anything like, you feel me? No. What happened to those days of when the art told the stories of, bro, I'm shy, man. I don't really know what to say. I don't know how to, I want to say something to her, but I can't. You feel me? And then ain't too proud to beg and shit. Like, I know when that shit stopped. Keith Sweat killed that. Everybody says Keith Sweat be begging, but was he really begging? Or was he creating the art form that gave you the appreciation for the woman? Like, it's like, yo, I'm not, I really want her. Like, he got a song that says, I want her. I want that girl. Like, ain't no, I want that one. I don't want somebody else's woman. I don't want this, like that. It was like, I want that girl. I want her. I want her. I want her. I want her. He was affirming that that's what he wanted. It's like, oh, he's begging. Keith Sweat, old begging ass. Like, that is like almost a 20-year separation. Because I think Temptations were like the 70s and shit. And then, Keith Sweat's the 90s. So it's like, that's literally a generation. You feel me? Roughly about a single generation. So it's like, we started to change that. We went from singing, I ain't too proud to beg, and you know it. Please don't leave me, girl. Like, don't. Like, you feel me? Don't leave me. But then in that same generation, though, we still had, don't get me wrong, we still had those musics like the Mr. Jones, Mama Mrs. Joneses. Like, we meet at the same cafe. Like, I'm taking your girl. Like, you feel me? But it's now more saturated, more oversaturated now with the whole mentality of, I'm not, I'm taking this girl. Like, I only want women who are already with men. You feel me? What does that do to our psyche? Because it's like, I don't want single women. I want women who are with somebody for the competition of me taking her. Then I'm not going to trust her because I just took her. Fucks with your psychology. Fucks with your mentality heavy, because now this art is no longer imitating it. It is creating and initiating a new reality for you. You feel what I'm saying? It's creating a new reality for you. So this is why it's like, this is one of the biggest gripes that I have with civil rights. The civil rights movement is an art form. I don't think we took the time to acknowledge that. We look at art as paintings. We look at art as music. You feel me? But there's other sides of art. And I feel the civil rights movement was an art form. It is an art form. You feel what I'm saying? But it is an art form that kind of segued into where we are now. You feel what I'm saying? That's why they put in history, they showed this form of the art, because art is imagery too. Art is also imagery. Art is symbolism. You feel what I'm saying? It's the imagery and symbolism. What imagery and symbolism do we continually see on a regular basis? You feel what I'm saying? So that's why when I talk to people and they're like, yo, when are the police going to stop killing us? When are they going to start doing it? They're not. They're not. Because they don't have to. They created the circumstance to where it's no longer a problem to kill black people. The world can literally see that. Come on, bro. Look at this shit. Literally think about it like this. Okay? If something happens overseas, France, Paris, I use France because that just popped up and it's the most. Remember when they had to pray for France shit? That whole shooting thing that occurred in France? CNN was there there. Like, it wasn't like they reported live. It was breaking news and CNN. How the fuck you get to France so quick? You dig what I'm saying? Pray for Paris. Now, the reason why that is, Paris was, they said, like, people be looking at flags and they miss the whole conceptualization. Everybody's like, yo, I don't fuck with the American flag. It's not the flag itself that you should have the problem with. It's the colors of the flag. Fuck the different design the flags have. It's the colors you pay attention to. You feel me? All the flags of oppression are red, white, and blue. United States, Great Britain, France, they have red, white, and blue in them. If it's red, white, and blue, chances are it's oppressing black people or people of color. Red, white, and green, you're oppressing Hispanic people. But you feel what I'm saying? That's not something I'm gonna get into. But the color of the flag is where the problem is. But the color of the flag shows the unity. It doesn't matter which design it is, it's there. That's why when they say pray for Paris, they lit it up red, white, and blue, because France flag is red, white, and blue as well, despite what the color is. Great Britain's flag, red, white, and blue. That's why it defeated the purpose. People were looking at the history and they're like, oh, you had American Revolution. It doesn't matter if you broke away from Britain. You're still like, it's like all they were being was rebellious teenagers. That's it. Because the flag stayed the same. The flag colors still stay the same, and what it represented, the imagery of what it represented, is still the same. They're still like, yo, you're still Britain's child. You feel me? So we look at America being the worst. Nah. America is what it's supposed to be. It's just still a child. It's still a fucking child throwing a fucking tantrum. But it's still under the colors of red, white, and blue. But the reason why I'm saying that is because of this. Now let's take it back to France, what I was talking about with France. When that France shit happened, CNN was right there. Bam, instantly. They were reporting what we were seeing in France in real time. So which means they were over in France in real fucking time. Right? Which means that CNN is broadcasted in France. It can be broadcasted in France. It could be broadcasted wherever this American flag goes, wherever this red, white, and blue flag goes. It can be broadcasted there, right? So here's my thing with the civil rights movement, right? Everybody around the world knows Martin Luther King. Why? Because Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, they marked the civil rights movement. They marked the epitome of the civil rights movement. I be seeing this post circulate on Instagram all the time. It says, don't tell us to be more like Dr. King because you shot him too. Right? But his death is not what they like. What you hear about Dr. King is, you know, his I have a dream speech of this, that, and the third. He became the pillar and the martyr for the civil rights movement at the same time for a reason. You dig what I'm saying? For a fucking reason. Because now he's no longer a person, he's an art form. He's an art form. And the art form in which he represented, the art form in which the civil rights movement, it imitated, and that art form was never imitated. It was an initiating art form. Not promoted by us, of course, but it was pushed by the backside of everything, which is kind of like the Black Lives Matter movement. It is pushed by people that don't even look like us, but we're the faces. You feel what I'm saying? Walk with me on that. So I'll get to Black Lives Matter soon too, but the art form and the art initiation through the civil rights movement is the reason why they can kill us, and it's okay. The world has yet to step in for anything. Why? Because they create these imagery and these symbolism things. Like, remember when they did the Coney 2012? That, you know how old that shit was when they started doing that Coney thing? Where did that money go to? How did that shit just stop and disappear? It was never really a thing. They used that imagery. It was supposedly a guerrilla militant that they had to take out, or whatever the case may be. So all around the world, they create this art form. They have initiated this art that black people are dangerous, that black people are evil, that black people are this, black people are da. So when something happens to black people, everybody looks away, because now here's how the initiation happens. The art initiation happens. You feel me? They create this art form. And the art form of the civil rights movement shows to be civil. We didn't even catch the bullshit in that. you guys fight for civil rights. Don't fight for human rights. Don't fight for the right to be black. Don't fight for the right to be civil. Well played, America. Well fucking played. And we fought for this shit. We have the civil rights movement. This is why from the extension of the civil rights movement, you have black people as the pillars of civil rights. We the foundation of the shit. But there is no black rights in civil rights movement. There's indigenous rights clearly defined for indigenous people. There's alphabet rights clearly defined for the alphabet people. There's Mexican American rights clearly defined for Mexican American people. There are Asian American rights clearly defined for Asian American people. There are civil rights for black people. So we gave you the right to be civil. So what happens when you do uncivilized shit? What happens when you do uncivilized shit? You're violating what we told you to fight for. You're no longer being civil. You feel me? We only protect civil black people. We only honor civil black people. How are black people civil? If they're heavily religious or if they're just protesting and not doing shit. If they're just turning the cheek and doing all this shit that, I ain't gonna get into that part, but that is also an art form. The religion is an art form that initiates something else, but we're not gonna get heavy into that. So I'm talking about the civil rights movement. So now, back to the Paris and France thing, tying all of this shit together. So when CNN broadcast, like when George Floyd was killed, how do you think it spread across the world? They said, we had every state, the different countries were standing for us. But do you know what they saw? Do you still know what they saw the most? They still saw the protests. They still saw, quote unquote, civil unrest. They still saw us being uncivil. Now, here's where I'm going to show how the Black Lives Matter movement is bullshit too, and how that shit's fucking up, because you got so many white people on the Black Lives Matter movement that when these protests happen, they're the ones. They've been recorded. They're the ones that's busting and breaking the shit down. They're doing the damage, and the black people are getting blamed for it. Why? Because art initiates the reality. Black Lives Matter. It doesn't matter who the fuck's involved in the Black Lives Matter protest, because it's the black part that they focus on. It's black people there. That's who's doing the fucked up shit. You feel me? What's the little dude that they said was walking with the AK or some shit? The little white dude, 17-year-old. I don't know his name. But we look at that. It was like, he shot at a Black Lives Matter protest. So Pete, I peeled back the layers and I kind of went into that story. And this is why I stopped giving a fuck about it. He went to a Black Lives Matter protest where all white people were at. There were no black people at this protest. The motherfuckers he shot were white. I'm going to show you where I'm going with this. The motherfuckers he shot was white. Not only that, the motherfuckers that he shot first were white people calling him a nigga. Nah, nigga, you ain't about to do. Whoa. Let's run this shit back. There's no black people at this particular protest that he went to. None. Did they ever show you who the victims were that he shot? No. You assume they were black. Do you know why you assume they were black? Because they were at a Black Lives Matter protest. And art initiates reality and art imitates reality. This is the artistry, symbolism, and imagery. Black Lives Matter. This white dude shot other white people who were at a Black Lives Matter protest. And these Black Lives Matter protesters, before he shot them, they called him a nigga. Let's look at all of the different quandaries in this motherfucker right here. White people called a white dude a nigga. The white dude shot the white people that called him a nigga and put him in the hospital at a Black Lives Matter protest. And nobody sees the issue here. Because we didn't even think to look into it. See, that's the thing about symbolism. And that's the thing about imagery. Once that image is set there, you automatically tie everything you're supposed to it. You don't think about it. You don't do the research to it. You don't look into it. You feel what I'm saying? You don't go into it because of that very reason. That's what a symbol represents. Mercedes-Benz, if you see that little Benz symbol, you don't have to worry about it. You don't know. Think about this. The symbolism is so powerful. If you see that little point shit that the Mercedes-Benz represents, you already know it's a foreign car. You already know basically roughly about how expensive it is. You can tell that, you know that it comes in certain series. What BMW is in odd number series, and Benz is in even number series. You already know certain things about it. You feel me? You know that it's certain things that you know just off seeing that emblem. And guess what? You don't even have to think about it anymore. You see it, that's a Benz, and you know everything associated with the Benz. That's how it's wired to you. Same shit with the Black Lives Matter movement. But like the white dude shot other white people at a Black Lives Matter event. We up in rage because it was at a Black Lives Matter event. This was the most funniest shit ever because it was white on white crime at a black on black. It was a white on white crime at a Black Lives Matter event. Go fucking figure that shit out. Not a single media outlet, not a single media press or anybody said white on white crime. Nobody said it. Nobody. But that's what it was. Go peel back the layers and look into it. We got up in arms. How the fuck is this white dude walking around with an AK-40? Hey, he walked down with an AR-15, not an AK-47. He walked in with an AR-15 at 17 years old. We were, he's not even supposed to be carrying that at 17 years old. He's not even supposed to be there. See, they just let him walk free. The police said, look, it was a white dude killing some other white people. Let them motherfuckers do their thing. The whole Black Lives Matter event thing threw us for a loop. It directed our entire consciousness because we assumed that it was a black person being shot. Black people didn't get shot at that thing. At that individual situation, black people didn't get shot. They shot white people. They shot white people. You feel what I'm saying? They shot motherfucking white people. A white dude shot some more white people. You feel what I'm saying? And that is where I'm going with this. So now when we go back to the civil rights movement, right? They created this. You guys, this is what you fight for. Go fight for civil rights. We're going to go march in the streets. We're going to be peaceful. We're going to do all of this. The reason why peaceful protesting was a thing. Who started peaceful protesting? You feel what I'm saying? We look at art. That's why I say art imitates and initiates reality. Who started the peaceful protest? And why did that become the focal point? When we look at slavery in school books, why did they always show images of the slaves that ran away as them sneaking off into the night? They never show a motherfucker slitting the throat and just walking off the motherfucking plantation. You feel what I'm saying? You don't see that imagery. That is a form of art, but you don't see that imagery for a particular reason because now it segues into certain realities to create and initiate certain realities. Because now when I see this art, be more like Dr. King. I don't want to be more like Dr. King. You're not hitting me in the head with a brick for nothing. No. You dig what I'm saying? I don't want to be more like that. That's stupid, but they're telling you to be more like the motherfucker that they shot any motherfucking way. You feel me? They shot this motherfucker anyway. And he wasn't doing anything. You feel me? So when you look at the people that are more in that vein of, the civil rights movement, they fought for the reality for us to be civil. That's the art form and the symbolism that derived out of that. Be civil. This is why have a peaceful protest. Bitch, you can't tell me how to be mad. Fuck. How the fuck you wrong me than tell me? Like, you know how manipulate how you know how much of a mind fuck we're stuck in with that and how we've been manipulated with that shit? I piss you off and I tell you how to be mad. And you be mad the way I tell you to be mad. Think about it. Think about it, right? So that's what the civil rights movement was about. It wasn't about equality. It wasn't about, because it ain't shit get equal. If it was really about equality, they wouldn't have took our businesses. You feel me? Since the civil rights movement, we have no business, no businesses, no land, we don't have anything. We didn't even have the shit coming out of Jim Crow and all of that shit. We didn't have it then, but we started to develop. We gave all of that shit right the fuck back to be employees. Like growing up, I never once heard, you feel me? Go start a good business and give a good job. I heard, yo, you want to go to school so you can get a good job. I used to have braids when I was a kid. They were like, you're going to have to cut your hair off because it's not professional. I've had black family members tell me that. You're going to have to cut your hair off because it's not professional. Why? It's hair. You feel me? These motherfuckers can show up. Like, and as I started going up in academia, I started to see motherfucking Caucasians. They just come to class and teach us and shit with all kind of, and I'm like, nobody's saying anything about this. How the fuck is that not unprofessional? But you know, the imagery or whatever it is, they took everything from us and made us assimilate into what they wanted us to be. You feel me? So now we created the civil rights movement. Well, they created the civil rights movement. We faced it. We put the face on the shit. This is what we did. Same as the Black Lives Matter movement. They created the Black Lives Matter movement. We put a face on. This is why if you ever hear me talking about it, I just did a jam session on WAP. And in there, I put Black Matter Lives. Yes, Black Matter Lives. And I even got a shirt on my website that says Black Matter Lives. I'm not telling you Black Lives Matter. I'm not begging again. I'm not in that civil rights mentality. No, I'm telling you, bitch, Black Matter lives. Nigga, it's alive and well. It lives within me. I'm not begging you to see that it matters. Bitch, I know it matters. And I'm telling you it lives. It doesn't die. It lives. You know? But that is how we have been continually conditioned into certain things. So, you know, these impromptus go off the head, so I kind of get off on tangents. So when we look at what we fought for civil rights wise, right? The civil rights movement created whatever it was going to create. So now anytime they do something to us, it's justified because that's uncivil behavior. So now they created the music, right? They created the music already, right? So the music has a set tone, right? The black men are drug dealers. Every black man who raps, he's either trapping somehow, he's cooking coke, he's doing something, whatever the case may be. He's shooting, he's killing all this money. Art imitates reality. Art also initiates reality. So these things are what the imagery is showing, right? So when they kill us, what do they show? That's why it's very, very important. They're strategic in who they kill. They kill people that have a mugshot. They kill people that dress a certain way. They kill the black people that, like, this is why it never fails why this happens this way. You're either going to get a mugshot. You're either going to realize that they had just committed some kind of charge, or they had some kind of pending charge, or had a warrant for their arrest, or they did something quote unquote illegal. All of that shit is uncivil behavior. Instantly, everything shuts down. We don't know what he did. He's like, so when you fought for civil rights, yes, you deserve, like, understand that I'm not saying this, my people deserve this shit. But when you fought for civil rights and you do even the smallest thing that's uncivil, you deserve to die. They've already told you that. They painted the picture for that because you're not being civil. You're not being civil. You're not being what we told you to be. We're not being what you fought for. You're not. You're being uncivil. So now we're going to show the smallest thing. We can show the smallest thing of you being uncivil, and it's going to justify your death. Y'all be arguing with crackers on fucking social media. You know, he shouldn't have to do this. Well, we don't know what he did. They're telling you, we don't know what he did. We don't know what he did. But you guys are acting like he's innocent because he had a warrant. Do you see? They know. Why don't you? They know what it means to be civil. They know what it means under the law to practice civil rights. They know what that shit means for you. Why don't you? You feel me? Why don't we know that shit? We're begging them to change. We can't, like, we fought for civil rights, bro. You feel me? And then you wonder why they create shit to stir up our emotions, to do shit to make us uncivil. So now they can get more documentation. Oh, here comes a riot. Let's go record this shit. And blast it across the world. So now when we send the military in, when we send these people are a threat, these people are this, these people are what? Uncivil. These people are uncivil. Listen to and you motherfuckers that's up in higher academia, right? Listen to your white friends tell you you're not like them. You're a different one. You're one of the civil ones. Because they see all the other ones as uncivil because they're not interacting with them on a regular basis. They're telling you this shit, bro. Sis, they're telling you. And then when they constantly reaffirm that and tell us that the higher up we go in academia, we stop seeing that connection that we once had with our very melanated siblings. You feel me? We even get to a point where we fear them too. We fear them too. You feel what I'm saying? And we don't know how that shit's reaffirmed. The music that we listen to, the shit that we watch continually. Don't wait until the motherfucker died to start unifying and break that barrier of, yo, we fought for civil rights. So now we want to say, yo, it doesn't, like we say it all the time. It doesn't matter what he did. He didn't deserve to get shot. The bull got shot. Now, the Blake situation. Now that one, I'm keeping my mouth closed on that because it's a very, very touchy subject. Very, very touchy subject because, you know, he got shot 7 times in the back. You know, then they talk about, okay, well, he had a knife in the car. Like literally that was their excuse. Yo, he had a knife in the car. But when you start doing some investigation on that case and everything, you find that, you know, it's speculation at this point. I don't know because I've only surfaced the case and shit. But he had, you know, they did say he had a warrant for his arrest, but it was for attempting or actually raping a black woman. So it's one of those things like I just, did that life really matter to us? You feel me? Like, I don't know. Like, I can't really, like, because that's, you know what I'm saying? He was an unarmed black man. Yeah, that's who we're on the face of that shit. But when we look at everything else, like, nigga, you a raper? I know it's rapist, but I'm saying raper. Because the word rapist is just now is like, you know, you're a raper now at this point. You feel me? Now it's like, are we still, because now are we saying that? Yeah, like what are we saying with that when we look at that? Now, again, I didn't dive heavily into it to find out who the girl was or like, but I happen to know that it's like she was underage or some shit like that. And, or if it even the same Jacob Blake, I don't know all of that shit. I'm speaking off of all the surface facts, surface information that I've, you know, found following the case. Is why I haven't spoken on it. Because it's like, damn, bro, like, which side do you pick? Because now let's look at it like that. Now let's go back to the artist side, artsy side of it. Because when we look at this case, and these motherfuckers know that, oh, this person was a rapist. Now black people are defending a rapist being killed because he was unarmed. He's a raper. So damn, they support uncivil behavior. They support that shit, but what do they want? All right. Look. The markets are not a difficult place to understand. All right. You just have to know what you're looking at. And there's 5 things that you need to see before you can make any market entry. First, you need a pocket so you can know which direction the market is going in. Second, you need a pullback so you can get the better price. Third, you need a battlefield so you can see when that market movement is slowing down. Fourth, you need the upper hand so you can see when the market reactivates. And last, you need a final push so you can see the exact moment when it's time to go with the direction you are already moving in. Okay? Of course, there's so much more that has to go into that, and it's not as cut and dry as that. But those are things that I teach in my Mastering the Market course. So if you would like to learn more, please visit imjustseeing.com and check out the Mastering the Market course today. Although it is directed and specialized for Forex, all of the skills, I crafted them to be transferable to any market that you're looking at. So again, visit imjustseeing.com and check out the Mastering the Market course today if you are truly looking to master the market. Oh yeah, and don't forget, while I still got you, you can use promo code QUARANTINE to save over 90% off of the enrollment of the full price of the course. That is QUARANTINE, QUARANTEEN. You feel me? Because we learn, we like this system, this art form, these art forms that are continually embedded within us, they teach us to react. We're never really proactive in our situations, and they do that. It's by design. Stir up your emotions because I know you're going to do civil shit. But the point that I was saying with that was how the art form of the civil rights movement created the reality that we have to be civil at all times. So now when we look at, oh, a black woman, she has a natural attitude. She got soul. That's really what it is. And she's expressing herself. Like we become the angry black man and black woman when we truly express ourselves with passion, when we express ourselves with anything, because there's an imagery tied to being civil. You're not supposed to speak. You're supposed to sing. You're supposed to sing and hold hands and get beat the fuck up all the time and just take it. How dare you stand up for yourself? That's uncivil. That's uncivil behavior. But that is the art that is being continually initiated and imitated day in and day out. You feel me? Yeah, I know it drifted into civil rights. It started off as music. All of this shit goes together because it's about the art. It's about the art of the realities that we live. You dig what I'm saying? So that's what I was saying about how when our people are killed in the street, this is why don't nobody respond. This is why this shit has yet to go to the UN. They have the they've already created the media. They've already created the imagery. They created the art. They said, hey, look, this is why we did this to them. Do you see? They burnt their own shit down. They're wild. They don't know how to be contained. They don't know how to be controlled. It was supposed to be a peaceful protest. And now they're wilding out. Do you see why we do what we do to them? Do you see? Like, that's why this shit ain't gonna go to the UN for these crimes against, like, fuck that. They're not gonna do this shit. Somehow, some way, they're gonna tie this COVID vaccine to black people only. And they're gonna use a lot of this propaganda that they've been building for the last 300-400 years to make it a possibility, to make it a reality. If you take that vaccine, you will die. I'm not speculating this shit, and by die, I don't mean immediately you're gonna kill the entire bloodline, because you will be sterilized. You will be sterilized. It don't get more civil than that. They are going to make black people civil as best as they can. And you're not gonna continue this. So nobody wants to look at the fact that the world has a different view, and it's like our fucked up perception of ourselves is so like we pick and choose. Like we can't all see ourselves collectively black. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Only when it's amongst ourselves. Like I said, you have those white people that'll be comfortable enough to tell you in a professional setting, you're not like them. You know what they're telling you? We have you feel me? I still use it. You heard it in the podcast a couple times. I've been saying it damn near 30 years. You feel me? It's kind of hard to shake that out of my vocabulary. You know what I mean? I be trying to replace words. Sometimes it just flows because it's tapped into the unconscious part of my mind. Now, this is why nigga is such a potent word. Niggas are uncivil. Niggas are uncivil. Niggas are uncivil. And do you know all of our music, the popular music, the mainstream music uses nigga, 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 nigga. Everybody says, I want to be a real nigga. Women are saying, I want me a real nigga. And they're making this, they're creating the imagery. They're showing what a real nigga is. They're showing all of this, connecting it. So when you hear that art constantly being imitated and that art constantly being initiated, the people say, oh, well, niggas are uncivil. You want to be an uncivil being. Our women want to have babies and procreate with uncivil beings. On the inside of the house, we know what the fuck we talking about. We know what the fuck we talking about. But the reality is dictated and predicated by those outside of the house who have created the conditions inside the house. And nobody knows the conditions inside the house because of the way we report what is going on inside of the house. Bitches, bad bitches are uncivil. Niggas and bitches are uncivil beings. And what does our art form affirm over ourselves every day? I need a bad bitch. I need a real bitch. I need a thorough bitch. I need a real nigga. I need a hood nigga. I need that. Like, we need an extension of an uncivil being. Because this is what they fought for. So now, when they show up, so when a white person says, yo, you're not like them, they're saying, you're not a nigga. Or nigger. Nigga. Or nigger. And that's why they be trying to understand, like, how come we can't say it, but you can? Because they gave you the civility. And that's the arrogance about the motherfuckers. Like, they feel as if, yo, we gave you civil rights. Let us do, like, let us have the shit. Mm-mm. You feel me? You can kill 800 niggas in a song. You can trap off 800 niggas. You can choke 800 bitches. You can put pills in a motherfucking drink. All of this shit, as long as they're black. But you say something about a Jewish person, you're anti-Semitic. You say something about, like, and you say something about the LGBT. You had, like, everybody can say whatever the fuck they want to say about niggas, but niggas can't say shit. You feel me? You can get away with it until that group decides, you know what, this is wrong. You feel me? LGBT people, I feel like this. Even if you're the LGBT black, you can't say nigga now. You picked your side. You ain't black no more. You ain't black no more. Like, you are your orientation before you are your race. That's cool if that's what you choose to accept. But now you can't do the black shit anymore. Stick to them. Stick with that. Because now it's that separation part. And for my LGBT people, if y'all are listening, for the black ones, they made you pick a side. Either you're going to be either you're going to be alphabet first, and you're going to be nigga second. You're not nigga first. You're not black first. I don't give a fuck how you look at it. You're not black anymore. That's some, you can think that. You have that feeling. Yeah, I'm black first. Then I might say, that would be ideal. And you would love that. But that's not what you are first. That's not what they're going to step in first. I put money on it. Put your blackness first and watch what happens to you. How many of them have you seen put their blackness first? I'm not talking about y'all that are actually putting your blackness first and you still like, yo, cool. But how many of y'all are able to put y'all blackness first and still be affiliated with that? You're not. You're not. And even if you decide, okay, I'm putting my blackness first, they don't put your blackness first. You are LGBTQPL, whatever the other letters are, before you are black. There's no convincing that. And that's why it's so important. Like, when you look at the Black Lives Matter movement, it can't, that's the thing about it. Like, the Black Lives Matter movement is really on some real shit. Read the bylaws and read the about. It is about destroying the black family. Now, I get it. I'm not one of those motherfuckers who's like, it's a dude out here right now who has 3 different baby mamas, right? Talking about being gay is destroying the black family. Being trans is destroying the black family. Like, nigga, you already took 3 out. I'm not speaking in that regard. But the actual bylaw says they are against the nuclear family. We know what a nuclear family is. It's a mother, father, and a child. Right? But also, they are willing to support single mothers and trans parents. I'm not making this shit up. It's written right there. So we understand that they're against who? The straight heterosexual black man. Go figure. They don't want him in the picture. And the whole Black Lives Matter movement is ran by, on the face of it, is the LGBTQ community. Sounds good to say Black Lives Matter, but do they really? You feel me? Because that's why I'm bringing up the point. Now, like I said, if you're one who says, yo, I'm black before anything, I'm black before I'm gay. I'm black. Like, I'm not talking to you. Duh. But the collective puts y'all blackness behind your orientation. But your orientation didn't come first. Even if we want to look at it from a biological perspective, right? The differentiation between whether you have a boy or a girl is not until about, 4 or 5 weeks in? But your mama was black and your daddy was black. You was black before you even had a gender to have a role with. You were black first. There's no biology, science made you like that. But when you go into this world, I don't see color. These same motherfuckers that say I don't see color. If you don't see color, how the fuck is there a Black Lives Matter movement funded by white people? That means you see color. Like, that means the color is evident. Like, you see that shit. It's alive and well. You see the fucking color, bruh. You have to. You have to see the color. You can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. There's the fucking color there. But that's where I'm getting at with that. Now I'm bringing it all full circle, because now you gotta ask yourself, does art imitate reality or it initiates reality? The Black Lives Matter movement, that was never our shit. We didn't start it. Go figure. That form of art was initiated for us. And what did that form of art come up with? Hands up, don't shoot. I can't breathe. Do you see these affirmations that they're being given you? Do you see the symbolisms found within the art that they've been giving you? I can't breathe. Say his name. Say her name. Say, they've been telling you all along what to fucking do. Am I saying don't say her name? Am I saying don't say? No. We need to spread this awareness. We need to keep this shit popping. But think about everything that is associated with that art. And by the Black Lives Matter is an art. It is a form of imagery. It is a form of symbolism. It is an art. And it is now initiating a reality. The civil rights movement initiated a reality. The music that we listen to initiates a reality. You dig what I'm saying? We have to realize that, and we have to be the changers and the initiators of it. See, they get so wrapped up in telling us art is not a real thing. They try to tell us art is not a real thing. Art controls the fucking world. Not only do we no longer fuck with art, we don't even fuck with science. See, here's the thing about it. I look at when I wrote my book, Hitting It Raw, right? I split it into 2 points because there's literally only 2 points to life in many regards. You have your science and you have your art. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? You have your science and you have your art. You have your information, and then you have your tangible information, and then you have the side of creation, right? Like, science is more of a masculine thing, analysis and deconstruction. Art is more of a feminine thing, synthesis and construction, right? Not only do we stay away from science, and science I'm meaning as the ability to know, we stay away from the art form, which is the ability to create. We don't fuck with art at all. We consume it. We don't create it. We don't create our own art. No, there's not many people creating art anymore. People are finding a template that works and multiplying it. Everybody's doing the same shit. This is why Instagram is what it is. This is why TikTok is what it is. This is why Snapchat is what it is. Everybody does the same shit. When a new filter comes out, everybody takes a picture with the filter. Nobody's creating the filter. When the dance comes out, everybody's copying the dance. One person, there's not enough creation going on. There's just content manipulation, content, fuck is the word that I'm looking for? Content recycling. You feel what I'm saying? It's content recycling because the individuals are not able to stand out. You feel what I'm saying? Because you have to know shit to be able to create shit. The education system has already fucked up the reality. A lot of motherfuckers don't know shit. You feel me? And I always say this shit. Do you really know what you know, or do you know what you're told? Because being know what you're told is going to dictate how you create your art. And if your art is, and if your art is your reality, you dig what I'm saying? Art imitates and initiates reality. But you need a foundational piece which comes from what you know. They've been teaching you all of this time what you're supposed to know. Only know enough to create what we need you to create. You dig what I'm saying? As black folks, the education has been so fucked up for us. So fucked up for us. Like, they have created the system to make sure we stay dummy down. You dig what I'm saying? To stay dummy down. So our art has to be what they permit, because we have to create within the bounds that they want us to, that they allow us to have certain things. Like the musicians, the artists, the record labels and shit like that, they're only able to create certain shit. You feel me? And then they have devalued us so much. They have allowed us to devalue ourselves in our minds so much that when we do have our dope ass black artists and shit, we're like, I don't want to. Like, you have to support. We support black artistry, black creation as a rebellion, not as a default. And that's the problem. Why? Because the reality has already been created. The reality has already been initiated through the art form that we don't need to be fucking with black people. We think like them. I be telling people that shit all the time. We've assimilated into the culture. We have become Europeans with black skin. We become European minded to where if you add like, this is why I don't do, like, you know how many people say this is why I don't do business with black people? What do you sound like? You feel me? Even if you can have a delayed experience with a black person and get upset, you can have a horrible experience with a white person. White person's company. Never stop. You might put a case in point. When that shit happened with Starbucks, well, I didn't drink coffee anyway, but I don't fuck with Starbucks. I still don't fuck with Starbucks. How many of y'all broke already? Because the coffee was good. Forget the solidarity that we were supposed to be standing on something. The coffee was good. You broke. You went back. Feel me? Still don't watch football. I guess it was easy because I didn't really watch football anyway. You feel me? I stopped watching football a long time ago. How many of y'all are broke? How many of y'all have broken and said, you know what, we can watch again? You feel me? The art imitates the reality and the art initiates reality. Feel me? The reality has already been accepted. You can only do so much. You try to stand a point, prove a point to say, we'll be here for black people. But do you really stand on that shit? You feel me? H&M put the little monkey on a shirt. Little black boy in a monkey hoodie. Still fucking with H&M. It lasted for all of that time. You dig what I'm saying? Because the reason that is the case is because the art has already been created that we can forgive white people, that we should forgive white people. That narrative has been painted since the religion, since they gave us the religion. Forgive them. Forgive them. Forgive them. Turn the cheek to them. But yet I always use these two verses because they're very, very polarizing. Where you have forgive your enemies, love your enemies. And we know who our proclaimed enemy is. But at the same time, spare the rod, spoil the child. Here's the reason why I say that. Because spare the rod, spoil the child teaches you to beat your children. And to beat all extensions of yourself. See, we be thinking that our children, we have always understood the conceptualization of Ubuntu, which is I am because we are because I am. Therefore, everyone is our child and everyone is our parent. It's that simple. That's why we had the phrases, it takes a village. Yes, everyone is our child. Everyone is our parent. It got fucked up. The disconnect happened. And the shit broke. You feel what I'm saying? But it innately stayed within us. So when we have that polarizing understanding of, it takes a village, we know that. Ubuntu, we know that. Innately within us. But now we have to conditionally train ourselves to say, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. Right? And we have internalized sparing the rod as beating your children. We beat the extensions of ourselves. We will beat the hell out of the extensions of ourselves and turn the cheeks to the enemies who have hell in them. Art initiates reality. That is an art form. That is a form of art that has initiated the fuck out of our reality. So this is why after they do the little monkey shit, after they do the little racist shit, after they put all whatever bullshit that they're going to put in that motherfucker, and then it goes viral, everybody goes in a frenzy, you forgive them because you've always been taught to turn the other cheek. It's programmed. In your unconscious mind, you've been taught to turn the other cheek to your enemy. You've been taught to give the second cheek to your enemy. You've been taught to forgive them because they know not what they do. You've been taught so many different things about your enemy, but the very reflection of yourself you've been taught to damage in the absolute greatest way whenever something wrong happens. Like, listen, like, think about that logic. Love your neighbor. Forgive your enemy, right? Your enemy consciously does stupid shit to you. And you can say, forgive them for they know not what they do. Your child, I'm expanded, but your child, the extension of you who is learning the world, who has not been in this world long enough, as long as you have, you can beat them into correction. Which now makes it easy for you to beat the very reflections that look like you, the people that look like you. That's what makes it easy to kill them. That's what makes it easy to strangle them. That's what makes it easy to trap them off, to just get this man for his money. This is what makes this shit easy. That one little verse. You see how powerful words are? See how powerful art and imagery and symbolism is? Because while these motherfuckers will literally shoot the shit right out you, choke you on camera, somehow we're still forgiving them. We're turning the cheek and going on about our days. Forgive them, Father, because they know not what they do. They know exactly what the fuck they do. They just know what you ain't gonna do. Because they created the art. Again, art is not just paintings and music. You have images, symbolisms. These are symbols that they're putting on you. You feel me? Turn the cheek to your enemy. Like beat the hell out of the child who's learning the world. But turn your cheek to the enemy who has the hell in them, the evil in them, to destroy you. Do you see how stupid that is? I'm not going to say how crazy. I'm not like, no, this is really stupid. It's not ignorant. It's stupid. Stupid is when you know something makes no sense, and yet you don't change it. Yet you still follow with it. You feel me? These are the things that have already been implanted and initiated with us. You don't think it's a coincidence that the civil rights movement was led by religiously Christian people? It won't led by Islam. You feel me? That's a whole different topic in itself, but it wasn't led by Islam. Malcolm X could have very well been the face of the civil rights movement. I don't see why not. I mean, I see why not, but feel me? I see why they couldn't make that happen. You go from, we are nonviolent with those who are nonviolent with ourselves. That is an art form. That art initiates a reality. But it's where, when you say, oh, nonviolence, we are not going to respond with violence. Oh, we want y'all to use that art form, initiate that. Be passive. Don't fight us back. Don't shoot us when we kill y'all, because we're going to make it worse in the future. We're going to make it worse in the future. And the whole time, this is going to be what you asked for. This is going to be what you fought for. You feel me? This is the art that's going to be created. So now when we look at, like I tell people all the time, there ain't no such thing as black on black crime. It's still white on black crime. It's still, when black people kill black people, it's still white on black crime because it's a white mind. It's a white mentality killing a black body. We don't even catch that shit. You feel me? We go to school to be indoctrinated all day long. You're not like, I've had so many teachers tell me I'm not like, growing up, they were like, you're not like them. What the fuck you mean I'm not like them? I am them. I used to tell them all the time, I am them. We live around the corner from each other. But no, you're different. You have what? What makes me different? Because after I get out of school today, when we go home, we're going to go roll up a blunt and smoke it together. I'm going to buy it. You feel me? When shit pops off, I got they back. They fight for me, I fight for them. You feel what I'm saying? I'm no different than them. But I realized what the situation was because I was taking honors classes, because I was the more so, you've been indoctrinated. Well, no, this shit never broke me. I'm just like them. I am them and they are me. But when they constantly, teachers tell, oh, you're not like them. Yes, I am. In fact, I'm the ringleader. In most cases. The shit you see them do and get caught for, it was my idea. You feel me? But again, when you're constantly, I'm going to take it back to what I was talking about with the science and the art part. When they educate you, when they teach you what you're supposed to know, they now control how you create. History is a very important piece. Because if I teach you that you just came from a slave, a high school diploma is a very good accomplishment. Slaves couldn't read or write. They would get their fingers cut off if they try to write. You feel me? Slaves couldn't read or write. There's a reason for that. And now they teach you that shit day in and day out. Black History Month. Oh, let's celebrate the kumbayas. Let's celebrate the fact that nobody busted a grape in a fruit fight. Let's celebrate the fact that we are still in the same condition, marching and hoping and praying and wishing for shit to change that won't, because this is what we fought for. We're going to give you a month of that, the shortest month of all. And then in that month, we're going to put the Super Bowl, the Grammys. We're going to put so much shit that you don't even get a chance to have one. All of the major fucking award shows and all of the biggest things that go on, they go on during Black History Month. It's like, you feel me? Like, the art imitates the reality. The art initiates the reality. So it's when you have the knowledge base, when you're able to educate yourself properly. Like, if your enemy educates you, your enemy controls what you create. Therefore, your enemy controls your art form. They control the art that you put into this world. You dig what I mean? And until we learn how to, like, I don't give a fuck about, like, oh, well, go to it. Like, I went to a HBCU. Let me tell you how fucked up that shit was. Now, granted, this is not a shot at my HBCU, but I'm telling one specific moment. I went to an HBCU. See, this is like, it doesn't, like, they were a part of the UNC system, right? In order, you have to be accepted into the UNC system as an institution, right? The UNC system, we know, is, regardless of whether you have an HBCU, you're still in the PWI curriculum, standard, set. They have certain criteria that you have to meet, right? So that's the education system is designed this way. You feel what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter, like, going to HBCU was fun because I was around all my people, but it was still like, oh, this is the Black indoctrination. Like, I tell people all the time, like, yo, you laugh at inmates who come out, oh, they institutionalized. Bitch, you went to an institution. The fuck you think happened to you too? You got institutionalized, but you just wasn't behind bars and didn't have to survive for your life. You've been institutionalized too. So much so that when you leave the real world, when you leave and quote unquote get into the real world, you see how much self-hatred you have developed in that system. And that becomes different because now we created this talented tent superiority complex within ourselves. The boulets or the bourgeoisies or whatever they're calling the shit, that has been developed within the cultural construct of being within that. Now, the intent has always been so we can infiltrate the game, but you got to be careful. Everybody can't infiltrate the game and keep their mind. Niggas change. Motherfuckers, they get caught up in that. And they understand that because they create the system. The odds of people maintaining their sanity and keeping that shit intact and being able to go back to their people is slim. I say you get about 5 to 10% of motherfuckers that can do it. You feel me? Everybody else leaves. And I'm not going back. I can't go back to there. Let me go here. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I'm supposed to be. Because the art imitates the reality. We know we can't go back to the hood. We know we can't go back to the hood. Why the fuck don't we go buy the motherfucker? Why don't we gentrify the hood? We dissociate from it in every way, shape, or form. Anything black, our full blackness. And when I say full blackness, I don't mean, the hood is all blackness. No, but the hood is an extension of blackness. You dig what I'm saying? The hood is an extension of blackness. So we shouldn't overlook it. Because the revolution, I always tell motherfuckers, they be thinking I'm bullshitting. The revolution is going to start and end in the hood. Why do you think they kill motherfuckers who fuck with the hood? Ain't no accident. Tupac, Nipsey Hussle, Huey Newton, you feel me? The people that went back to the hood and were like, yo, we need to change the circumstances of what's going on. That's who dies. It ain't the motherfuckers that stay away from the hood. It's the motherfuckers who have the impact within the hood that say, oh, no. Because when the hood is on point, the game is done. The game's over. Like that's it. That's checkmate. You can't beat us anymore. You just can't beat us anymore. You feel me? And so when the point that I was getting to as far as the HBCUs and shit, like you're still within that system. So there's still like cookie cutter shit. Like we're gonna create you to do this. And now it's gonna be even different because now it's like, okay, if you go to the HBCU, we're gonna give you a superiority complex because you feel like you stayed with your people. If you go to the PWI, no. We're gonna give you a superiority complex because you stay with your people, right? And you feel like, yeah, I stayed there. I stayed home. I didn't, flex. I didn't flake or anybody. I crossed, Greek letter organizations, all black and everything. But you come to the PWI, we're going to give you the superiority complex. Like, you're better because you came with us. You feel what I'm saying? You know how many motherfuckers I said, I heard say 4.0 to PWI is better than 4.0 to HBCU. That's bullshit. That's a lie. Because HBCUs have to be permitted under the system within the state, stupid ass. So the 4.0s are equal, you dipshit. They're fucking equal. You feel me? I went to Fayetteville State University, an HBCU, under the UNC system. Under the UNC system. What's under the UNC system? UNC Charlotte, UNC Chapel Hill, Duke. All of these. No, Duke is private. Let me take that back. Duke is private. It's not. So, for example, these UNC, I'm just going to use the UNC systems. You feel me? But I know for a fact Fayetteville State is under the UNC system. You feel me? UNC Charlotte, UNC Chapel Hill, UNC Wilmington. These schools are under there. And I had people say, yo, UNC Greensboro, UNC Greensboro, UNC Chapel Hill 4.0 is better than the one at Fayetteville State. Bitch, they're all under the UNC web. Stupid fuck. The whole UNC system has to validate and set the standards and the criteria for this to be an accredited institution. You dumb fuck. So when you think you got a better, I got a 3.2 at a PWI and it looks better than a 4.0, no, the fuck you don't. No, the fuck you don't. You think that it looks that because you are around white people all the time. You see how the imagery already sets up? You see how the imagery is already there to where it is so ingrained in you think, we didn't even fathom to even look into that. Like, yo, all of these schools are under the same umbrella. They got the same accreditation. So how the fuck can a 4.0 be better here than it is over there? And it's all qualified by the same motherfuckers. You feel me? But I will say this, though. This is my validation that going to an HBCU is better grade-wise, however you want to look at it, than it is at a PWI. Simply because of this reaction right here, this reality right here. If you are to take a standardized test for qualification, such as the Praxis, the MCAT, GREs, anything like that, I have had conversations with people who have sat on committees for these tests. The tests that go to the HBCUs are significantly harder than the test that goes to the PWIs. Not that the people at the HBCU struggle. The tests are specifically created to be more difficult than they are at the PWIs. And yet, I know people who go to HBCUs and pass these so-called hard tests on their first try. Pass these Praxis and these tests on their first try. Praxis 1, Praxis 2. Case in point, my ex-girlfriend, when we was in undergrad, she had to take the Praxis. Scared as fuck because everybody's telling her, yo, you can't pass it on the first time. Nobody passes it on the first time. Me and her, I helped her study for it. I'm like, yo, you gonna pass it. We ain't taking this bitch twice. We don't take tests twice. The fuck? What kind of shit is that? She passed Praxis 1 and Praxis 2 first go. The tests are specifically designed to be more difficult than they are at HBCUs. You feel me? But when you take them at a PWI, it looks good, but the test is easier. They want you to pass that motherfucker. If you in school, if you're planning on going to school, if you're planning on doing anything, this is my little nugget, a nugget of game I'm going to get you. Sign up for your test at a PWI. You'll pass that bitch. Study like you was at the HBCU still. Don't get me wrong. Study like you were still at the HBCU and then go take it at PWI. I bet you smash that motherfucker. I bet you blow that bitch out the water. Because the tests are specifically designed that way for the separation. So when you tell me a 4.0 at the PWI is better than a 4.0 at HBC, it's not. It's not. It's not. And I know that it's not simply because those advanced placement testing to get you to the next level, there's a degree of separation in them. A huge degree of separation in them. The GREs are harder at HBCUs than they are at PWIs. The MCATs are harder at HBCUs than they are at PWIs. You feel me? Those nursing exams, all of these exams are harder at HBCUs than they are at PWIs for a reason. You feel me? My HBCU, when I first got there, they had canceled the nursing program, right? They brought the nursing program back, new facilities and everything like that and shit. Like, these motherfuckers was killing this game. And then I was like, how are they doing this? The test was significantly harder. That's why it got canceled the first time. They caught wind to it and they made adjustments. Like, that's why it's like, I'm going to go to this school. I'm going to go to this Caucasian school and everything. You become a nurse and you become that shit real quick. And then you go to the people that have been in HBCUs and they be bodying motherfuckers. They be knowing significantly more than motherfuckers. Like, how? Because the standards are different. The standards are different. That shit look good on the paper, you think. But the actual quality of the information, HBCU is going to give it to you. You know why? Because we got to work twice as hard for half as fucking much. Every fucking time. But I don't want to deviate from the main topic of all of this. It was art as a form of imagery, symbolism, and how art imitates and initiates reality. So now, that mentality of having, oh, my degree is better because I was at a PWI. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. You feel me? I went to an HBCU and, you feel me? Now, here's where the real kick comes in. I went to an HBCU and then I quit school. And then I became self-taught and I started learning my shit. I know significantly more than a lot of the motherfuckers who have that piece of paper. I be busting their ass academically. I'm like, yo, wait, you got the letters. How the fuck don't you know this? You feel me? Because I understand what education is. I understand what the training is and I understand what all that is. But in the grand scheme of it all, we need to get to a point where we're fully aware of everything that is going on. You feel me? As far as this art shit. Because the music we listen to, the shit that we see on TV, the actors and shit, like, why you think, what did Jadakiss say? Why Denzel had to go crooked before he took it? Why did Holly have to let a white man pop up to get an Oscar? What roles did they play? The uncivilized. They captured the fuck out of the uncivilized roles. They love us playing those uncivilized roles and slaves. You feel me? They love that shit. They eat that shit the fuck up. You feel me? Because that's what we fought for. That's what they told us to fight for. Civil rights. And that was the art. That created the art. So that sets the tone for that art to be written and laid out in the history books for you to see over and over again. Right? So now when the history books go out and they show, hey, we have Martin Luther King, we have this, why can't you be like him? Why you guys gotta be like that? And then our imagery, our music, our TV, reality, quote unquote, reality TV, love and hip hop, all of that shit. It shows the imitation of our culture. This is why it's like all of the women on these shows are volatile and shit. I was talking to this old head and he was like, yo, I tell all my brothers that are like 30 and older, don't get you a Western black woman. I'm like, the fuck, why not? He was like, because, the standard, they'll trap you off. They'll do certain things like that. I'm like, yo, but what about the Western black man? I said, we can't in one breath only see that there's a distinction between the upstanding Western black man and the real nigga and not give that same pass to our sisters. You feel what I'm saying? But do you see how we get into this, oh, niggas ain't shit, bitches ain't shit, right? But that goes into what we attracted to. We attracted to ain't shit. Why? Because the art initiates the reality. This is what sets the tone. Everybody, all the women wanted a real nigga when I was young. till they got a real nigga, and it's like, you was a real nigga. Like, all of the, and this, a lot of these upstanding dudes that, you know, keep getting fucked over, you getting fucked over by bad bitches. Bad bitches ain't got no good qualities. If you a bad bitch, you know, it is what it is. You feel me? Because I've learned I had my share of bad bitches. They became bad bitches because the art initiated their reality. So many women I've had tell me, well, we do this because this is what men like. See, if you can get to that point where you can actually talk to women and listen to them, you tell that, like, half these bad bitches don't want to be bad. The other half are bad. No, I'm not going to say half. I'm going to say it like this. 40% of the bad bitches don't want to be bad. Another 40% of the bad bitches are bad at being bitches. There's only about 10 to 20% of bad bitches who are actually bad bitches. It's not a lot. It's really not a lot. But the problem is everybody wants it. All the dudes want a bad bitch, but you want a bad bitch with upstanding morals and qualities. No, ain't no different than a bad bitch and a real nigga are the same shit. They're the same shit. They're stuck in survival mode. And they're trying to survive in life. You feel me? But then we get caught up in that. Dudes like, that's why dudes get mad. Like, oh, now you wanted this dude in high school and everything like that. You mad because you couldn't be a real nigga. You didn't want to be a real nigga. You weren't built to be a real nigga. Accept that and be okay with that shit. But you wanted the woman that the real nigga was naturally supposed to be with anyway. The bad bitch. Feel me? I've had the bad bitches and shit. I've had them. I've been the real nigga too. I've been it. But then I realized the real nigga life wasn't for me. I gotta shoot motherfuckers. I gotta be volatile. I gotta act like I can't think and shit. No, that's not my life. I was bad at being a real nigga because I wasn't about to jeopardize. Like, we ain't gotta go to this shit. Like, I was with the shits, don't get me wrong. But I would think about the shits to be with. You feel me? I wasn't with all the shits. You feel me? So it's like, that creates the reality. Like, they get all these dudes is the same. All these dudes is the same. All these is the same. All these bitches are the same. All these women are the same. All these girls are the same. You know, to say I don't fuck with the Western black woman without admitting that, it's because you want a bad bitch, right? You want that bad bitch, but you want her to have morals. You want her to have standards, but you can't even see that a real nigga doesn't even have that. You dig what I'm saying? And that's the problem. That's the full reality where we are, because the art has initiated the reality. And by the art initiating the reality, it has dictated and predicated exactly where we stand as people. And don't forget to take a moment to go get your exclusive merchandise from Just Scenes merch. At Just Scenes, each piece is specifically crafted with positive imagery and symbolism. From the titles and designs to the descriptions, each style gives you something to feel great about. With everything from hoodies and tees to coffee mugs and tote bags, we have something for the entire family. So be sure to get yours today. Find us on Instagram at Just Scenes Merch and get your merchandise right now.